You're the mean one of the group, actually. Silently judging.
Jessup, Becca, we were having a conversation about this on who we thought was the mean one of the group. Out of our group, I'm definitely not the mean one.
Oh, pfft.
Uh,
Becca.
we might want to put that up to a vote.
It's between Becca and John right now.
I'm just miserable. She's mean. I'm just miserable.
Maybe Mason's the mean one. Just laughing at me for not thinking I could be a good person. John? John, my vote on you has now switched to Mason.
Oh, thank you. I'm
Well,
impressed.
well, well.
He didn't want to stay with us on Saturday. He drove all the way back to Fargo.
He was like, I must leave immediately. I cannot be seen at a special event with just one class.
Yeah, give it 5 minutes. I'm sure your vote will change on who's the meanest. Welcome back to
Oh,
everyone to the
man.
Track Packers podcast for episode 9 of season 5. We have another full field here ready to give you the lowdown on a very busy weekend with myself, Mason, the Pelkeys, Jessup, and Becca, and Mr. John Breckle leading the way this week. John, how are you doing?
I am doing great, Mason. It is good to be back on the pole. So, yes, it has been a fun week. We had a lot of really good racing this weekend. I put a lot of miles on actually this weekend. Myself traveling to different tracks, and yeah, it was fun.
Good deal. Jessup, how are you doing this week?
I am fine, Mason. I am fine. I am
He's
slightly
drinking his tea.
pink out. 'Cause I'm a classy bee.
I drink with my pinky out too.
I do
What?
too. That's the funny part.
It's kind of a thing. Becca, how are you doing this week? She's classy too.
All right, this is going good.
Short
She's
sweet.
she's back for a week and she hasn't said a word. Why?
Just trying not to get a caution.
She's doing the finger guns. Bang, 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 bang.
That means she's
Oh.
doing A-OK. I'm also doing A-OK. I actually had a relatively chill weekend considering even the miles I put on. The miles I put on was actually for a relaxing night as a fan. So, pretty chill in the grand scheme of things, which is different to get used to. We hope you all had a chill weekend as well, as we have a lot to get to. We want to send a couple of shout outs and thank you to those of you that watch and tune into the podcast, including Tanya from out in Bemidji Speedway. Thank you for checking out the podcast. And also John Nord, one of the local high up in the IMCA modified runners that we have around here. Thank you for tuning into the podcast as well. So, we have everyone stacked, we have everyone racked, the podcast packed, and let's wave and go green. John, who or what are you repping?
Well, this weekend starts the Mary Vedder Challenge, so I am repping the first annual shirt for the Mary Vedder Challenge. So, repping this as part of our podcast and making sure that we have some great racing action with the Mary Vedder Challenge this weekend because it starts on Friday night in Mandan with the Hobby Stock and Bombers, and then on Saturday it goes to Jamestown for night 2 with the Bomber class. It comes back to Jamestown the following week on the 20th. That'll be night 3 of the Mary Vedder Challenge, and then Becca, it's back in Mandan the following Friday. I believe that is June 26th is where it's going to be for night 4. And then it'll go to the Tri-County Speedway for the fair race in July. And championship night will be in Jamestown on the 18th of July. So that'll be 6 races for the Bombers and hobby stock drivers. Um, Brandon Vetter does a really good job with that with the sponsors he gets. There's quite a few businesses that donate and help out. He races it in memory of his mother, that passed here just a few years back. And the points fund this year is pretty good again. It's $1,000 on top for first in the points. And I looked through the top 10 spots and it's pretty good from a bomber payout.
Excellent. And there's been a pretty good bomber count across the state, so should be get some pretty good numbers across all the tracks.
Agreed.
Excellent shirt. I have a couple pieces of new gear for my who or what I'm repping this week. I have Caden Westcott, IMCA Sport Mod driver out of Ada, Minnesota, repping him on the hat. So nice new hat to rep there. One of the new shirts I got at the High Limit show is Tanner Holmes, number 13. Now, I'd put a cap on 2 shirts that I was going to purchase, but then as I was walking through it one more time, I saw the maroon shirt stick out because maroon was one of my high school colors, and I'm like, dang it. So they got me. So, and I became a Tanner Holmes fan over the weekend because, man, I never really knew him before like this year, but he does a really good job promoting the track, the series, and sprint car racing as a whole, and definitely made a fan out of me. So definitely happy to rep his shirt for this week on the podcast. Oh, and here's the back too.
Nice.
So that's who or what I'm repping. Jessup, who or what are you repping?
I am repping a Brent Marks shirt, the Dirtaholic, and it's got a little Dirtaholic guy on the back with a mud logger,
Ooh.
and that's what I'm repping. Nothing.
Dang. So did you get that shirt this weekend too?
I tried to put a limit on shirts like John did up in Minot, except none of these were on sale.
Yeah, none of the ones I got were on sale, and I know one of the other shirts you got, so I'm excited when you reveal that one too.
Yeah. Oh, should we reveal it?
No, we gotta wait. We gotta wait for
You gotta
another
wait.
episode.
Oh, well,
You gotta
okay.
wait.
I mean, I could reveal it now. I mean, I just may. You don't know if I can or I might hold this podcast hostage.
I mean, I guess you can do whatever you want. I just save it for another episode. Becca, who or what are you repping?
Quick note, I also became a Tanner Holmes fan over the weekend. His social media game is very strong, and his content is just fascinating and very interesting to listen to. He's very good at just like explaining basic things that we probably all know, but let's be real, he's probably getting a new fan or a new sprint car fan every day. So he just kind of just casually explains things, and it's just really interesting to listen to. And there's also this, even though I've been a fan for over 20 years, there's things I'm learning, so it's fun. Really cool dude. Got to meet him this weekend. But tonight I am repping Tyler. Tyler Courtney. Sorry, my bad. It's been a long day. Anyways, Tyler Courtney, Sunshine. I got this shirt at his trailer. It was really cool. A lot of the drivers were actually at their merchandise trailers, taking the money, meeting the fans, and it was really great. So, yeah. So I'm wearing Tyler Courtney, Mr. Sunshine. The back is just really fun and super colorful.
Mm-hmm.
So, really cute shirt. I liked it. So,
Nice.
and Tyler's awesome. So.
Yeah, I missed. I think I got there just after most of the drivers left their souvenir trailers. I think I got there around 5, so I think I missed most of that. But that's okay. Awesome. So that's who or what we are repping for this episode, and now we'll move right into the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind to give a shout out to Hot Sauce Isaac Sondrol on the 12S. IMCA Modified, who I think got a heat race in this weekend, but I don't believe got to race his feature. Instead, he took shelter in the Velva High School trying to outrun a storm on the way home yesterday. So hopefully he'll get some racing in the near future. What's that, Jessup?
That's smart.
Yes.
Bad one. Oh, hi, Gordy. Come on.
Oh, we have a special guest on the podcast, Sir
We
Gordon.
do.
Now, if he looks a little like run down or shaggy, he just had some minor surgery today.
Oh.
He had to get a cyst removed from right above his ear, as you can kind of tell here. So he's kind of drugged up, and he just wants some attention. And he's still my golden boy. He's the bestest of boys.
He is. I'm waiting for him to hang out at the track one night.
No. Or mean to him at the
Never
track.
do that again.
No. He's a good boy. But anyways, on to the hot sauce, hot memory rewind for our good friend Isaac Sondrol. Isaac, we hope you get more racing in, and we hope you made it through that big storm. Now, we're back in class again with the 2003 late model session. This is another rapid fire night as Gordy is calmed down. Good boy. Don't get too wild. Yes, good. We are kicking off with number 52.
Is that one of the tennises?
Yes, but which one?
Rick.
Which one do you think it is, Mason? I believe this person still races.
I don't know. I don't remember Jason racing a late model. He did?
He did.
Oh. Jason Tennis.
Very good, Mason. John, you back.
That's interesting. He's sponsored by Jim Riley and Sons Construction.
Next one. This is a trap.
And it kind of looks like a trap. Because it's got a 55 with something above it.
Yep.
Is it Dwayne Mater?
That is correct.
I saw Dwayne. I'm like, I couldn't see what else it was. Kevin Sexton?
57.
Higher.
I don't know if I know that one, Jessup.
That is Larry Whip.
I have heard the name, though.
I have not. That one I would not know. So
Heard the name.
Oh, this is actually a fun one.
Is that AJ Demo?
Yes.
Really?
Oh.
I don't remember him ever having a car like that.
This is AJ Demo.
58 is really not a common number.
Well, I can tell it's a Wisconsin number car with a Subert trucking.
Okay.
And let's see what else this one has. Oh, that's a Subert Cattle Ranches. Let's see. GSR Racing. No. I would say the only thing giving it away is kind of the number and I'm probably saying it wrong. Subert Cattle Ranches. So that does check out. Next. I don't know this guy.
The only one I was going to guess was Dan Ebert, and I'm like, it's not Dan Ebert.
Mark Shamarick?
I wouldn't know that one either.
Nope. That must be an out-of-towner. This guy I don't know either.
That's not another common number either.
Greg Dane?
I don't know that name either.
Nope.
Delia Delm?
We're on the struggle bus right now.
Chippewa Falls, Wisconsin. That's weird. I don't know.
Well, that's a red cedar car.
Oh.
Keeney.
Which one, Mason?
What's the dad's name? Dave Keeney? That's the only one I can think of.
Nope.
Jim Keeney?
Closer. Starts with a J.
John Keeney?
No. Okay, do you want to throw out a J name thrown in there?
Jake.
No, it's Jeff.
Okay.
You all need to do better. I gave you so many hints.
You did?
Oh, I did.
Should have just said J Keeney.
Got out of order. All right, here we go.
Eric Recoshin?
How do you say his last name?
Breescoten, I think.
I thought it was
Breescoten? Okay.
Breescoten, but that is correct.
Okay.
Next. Oh, this is an interesting one. 50-50 chance of getting this. Last name Berna.
Ron Berna?
Very good.
I don't know that one.
He races out of Wisconsin. The Berna
Kind
family.
of Shawano area?
Yeah.
Okay. Boy, I've seen that car before.
Is that Terry Riley?
Oh,
No.
John should have the first name figured out.
Oh.
God, that's not Pat Dorr, is it?
Oh,
There's a
it,
Smurf on there. What's the
it
what's the
is John Olson.
ah,
Spelt exactly how John's name is spelled. Jon.
Really? Interesting.
I figured John would have had it.
you got to move it up.
Uh, all I
No.
see is John's face.
I don't know this guy.
John's face. There, hold it right there.
Finally,
He's on two screens then.
What did you say, Justin?
MJ Hines or Heinley? Henley?
I don't know that. I don't know that
Nope.
car driver either.
No idea. Same guy.
Same guy, different side of the
Yeah.
car. MJ
We got
Hyman.
Ooh, this one should be easy to pick out.
Is that Hansted?
Which one?
Ron?
No.
Rick.
Rick?
Very good. Another one John should get.
That I should get.
Yes. Very
Is it a
popular.
John?
Yes. I don't know the rest of the name, but Mason gets partial credit. See, Mason, if you just try and put a little effort in, you too can get points.
Oh
Dr.
my
K,
goodness.
that is the teacher in me, teaching you to try your best. Okay, well,
Is that one of the strands?
nope.
I don't know what that is.
First name, Morris.
Oberly?
Yep.
That's a Western name.
And
Mhm.
last but not least,
Oh, that's one of
Brian
the
Strand.
strands.
Brian
That's Brian
Strand.
Strand.
there you go.
At least we end on a somewhat easy one. I forgot to do a NASCAR one this week. I'm sorry.
That's Michelle Stockton.
Good job.
I'm going to say Michelle Stockton.
I didn't know who
Pretty sure
this
that-
was, and I had to dig for it.
Oh, Knicks are going to win.
That would be the two on the outside is Deuce. That's Casey Arneson, and that's brother Levi Arneson.
Really?
I think, yeah, I'm like, I think that's an Arneson. I'm like, I don't know which one it is.
I think it's Levi. Levi used to
Okay.
be the 22. That's at Red River.
Yep.
Fascinating that there was a black car for them.
I think it might have been. Is that maybe Pavlicek that's on the outside, kind of sticking his nose three wide in the middle?
Oh gosh, you'd be really.
The BR.
What are you looking?
This is
Oh.
the Double One Express of Pat Dorr.
Nope. Is it? I don't recall
I-
having a blue number.
I don't know for sure, but I think it is Pat Dorr.
It is Pat Dorr because he raced for the U Motors team for a while, and then he went black with the car.
I don't ever recall seeing him with a blue number.
Yeah, so when I was looking, I'm like, I think that's
Oh.
Pat Dorr.
Well, it is because it says it right on the side, but I don't know who AC is.
It's one of the guys
So-
out of Wisconsin.
Austin Carruthers.
No, it's an 80 machine. Who's the 80 machine?
I can't see. Mason, move the picture to the right.
Move the picture to the right.
Zoom in on the right of the car. We're not moving it right enough.
So this is another one I'm not 100% sure of, but based on the tag, it said Adam Hensel.
Man,
Well,
that would
I
make sense.
see
He
that with the
ran this for a while.
Arc but I don't understand the 80 or the AC. Because Hensel was 44 when I first started seeing him.
Yeah, unless like, well, I think is the AC stand for the Arctic Cat?
Could be.
I think it does.
Okay, and I think I got
Oh,
one
Lord.
more.
You got one more?
Yep.
That is a
Oh,
Beamer.
that's Alex Guthmiller.
Very good. Very good.
Okay, I
Got
have got
something?
four.
All right.
First one.
That's
Oh
an old.
gosh.
That is an old car.
I like it.
What year do you guys think this is from?
Jessup likes it. What a shock.
That's from the Rat Bag years. Mason, pipe down.
That
I'll give you
nose
guys a
is
hint. This is back from 1996.
Oh, I was going to say 98, but that's pretty neat.
Mason, you know this driver really well.
John, would I have any clue of who this is?
You probably wouldn't, but you would know one of his relatives really closely.
Okay.
I mean, Mason, me and you have all talked to one of his relatives on the phone, while we called him from your house one night.
From my house?
No, from Jessup's house.
what?
Called this guy from my house?
A
Not
relative.
this guy, one of his relatives from your house. I mean, Mason talks to one of his relatives probably a good, at least once a week, if not more than that.
Listen, who do
Is
you
this
talk to?
Jamestown? Or is this Aberdeen?
I
This is not Jamestown.
So it's Aberdeen.
I don't. It looks way
Guy's
too
a-
banked to be Aberdeen.
This guy's a multi-time street stock champion at Cheyenne, at
Is
Jamestown,
this
Stock
Duffy
Car Stampede.
Franke?
Yes, it is.
Wow.
Oh, that was actually a really good hint, John.
That's Duffy. Next one.
Eddie.
I am expecting Mason to get this.
I'm gonna say, is that Ed Conlon?
It is.
The Holland Auto Body kind of gave it away.
Yep.
That's
I missed
that's from the
that.
'90s, it's, I think, too.
These are all 96.
Back when cars looked like cars.
I don't disagree with you there.
Look at that. It was so does street stock.
Vilhauer Cattle. Wow, that's still a sponsor today. So it's a Wishick area car. Is this a Michelson?
Yes.
Jody.
It is Jody Michelson.
He was racing in '96. He seems like a younger guy.
He looks
Maybe
really
this
good
is
for
one
a
of
name.
his maybe this is one of his first years, potentially.
Oh,
Lamb.
ooh,
Jerry
Lin Lamb.
Lamb.
It's Lynn Lamb. Yep,
Ooh.
Mason got it right.
Good job, Mason.
Look at that tack.
I wonder
I
if
know.
Bucket told him to retire too.
That moisture. That character in the track.
Okay, final one.
I feel like I've seen this car before. Is this a Keeley?
No, the driver still races to this day.
Jeff Hart.
Okay, I got to give a good hint. He likes to end up on his lid at a big year-end special.
Well, Reese Stenberg's one of the first people that comes to mind, but it's definitely not him.
No, but the driver pretty much almost rolled back-to-back years.
Recently?
In which
Yeah,
race?
just recently.
Which
Okay, so
race
think,
did he
Mason.
roll in?
He's still-
Year-end special. Invitational. We have seen him roll twice.
Uh,
His car this year is also yellow.
is it Luke?
With the same number, Mason. Mason, I'm really expecting you to get this.
Stony Crook?
Yes!
Okay.
I was never gonna get that.
That one, yeah, that one's a tricky one. I'm like, I haven't seen Sony race in a while.
No, we're giving Stoney some crap here because he comes to the Stampede every year, has a great time at the Stampede, but yeah, there for a couple years he could not finish on his wheels. He was always on his lid.
Well, now he's not coming this year because you gave him a hard time. Way to
Hey,
go.
he was there last year and he had a really good run, I think, last year.
And now he's not coming back because you gave him a hard time.
We bullied him out of coming to the Stampede.
Oh, attaboy, John.
No, we want Stoney back in the Stampede.
Most people try to encourage them. John's over here. This guy flips all the time. Ah, 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 ah.
John's
It's
Becca.
me.
He's beckying over there.
Yes, I'm just like Becca,
This answers our question, Mason. Who's the meanest?
Yeah.
which
Oh,
is
yeah.
Becca.
As the podcast ages on, we're figuring out more and more who's the meanest out of our group.
John.
It's definitely Becca.
Anyways, that'll do it for the Hot Sauce Hot Memory Rewind, and we'll move right into the Track Pack Report with a shout out to Paul Bunyan Mini Storage and Dean Eggebraaten out of Bemidji, Minnesota. Remember, you can store it all with Paul. They have 3 convenient locations around the Bemidji area, whether you need just a small storage unit to store some of your special collections or trinkets, or if you have a fifth wheel camper, any vehicles that you want to store for a season, you can find whatever size or all climate controlled areas. So be sure to get in contact with Dean to see what right size fits for you. And thank you, Dean and Paul Bunyan Mini Storage, for your support on the podcast.
Now, my question here is, have we found out any pricing yet to store all of your stuff?
Well,
And then I'm going to need a second locker or storage unit to store all of John's bowling balls and outdated bowling pants.
Ooh, this is true.
This could take up 2, maybe 3 units, depending on size.
and from what Jessup told me this weekend, apparently when the tote gets overfilled with shirts, then he just starts throwing them away. So it'd be nice to get a
I
storage
don't
unit so
throw
you
them
can
away. I donate them.
Where do you donate them to?
People.
Anyways, so on to our Track Pack Report. I'll get right into my stuff because we have a lot to cover. Starting off at Thursday at the Norman County Raceway was meet and greet night along with the Wissota A mods and the Kingpin Clash for the IMCA stock cars. So definitely quite a bit of activity on the Thursday night. 6 classes in attendance. The Sport Mods kicked things off with Rich Pavlicek, who had a very forgettable weekend last week. He started off the weekend with a win over Andy Wagner. So congrats to Rich Pavlicek in the IMCA Northern Sport Mods. IMCA Hobby Stocks went once again to Reed Randall. He's now on a winning streak as he finished in front of Daniel Beckman and Brad Orvidal in the 3XL. Then in the NX Legends, it was once again Ryan Broseth and Ty Wilkie going at it, which Ty Wilkie made the pass on Ryan Broseth, but a caution came out at just the right time where Ryan kept the lead and hung on to get the feature win. So that is another win on the season already for Ryan Broseth. Midwest Mods was an attrition-laden feature as we had a lot of cautions, unfortunately, and a lot of drivers falling out, but it was Ryan Scow who started 10th and got to the lead, and he got his first feature win of the season. So big congrats out to Ryan Scow. He finished in front of Brendan Schmidt and Jory Berg. Then it was the Kingpin Clash with the IMCA stock cars, which is definitely one of the races of the year. If you haven't seen highlights for that, definitely recommend go and check it out. It was Johnny Carter and Rick Schultz battling side by side for the first half. Johnny finally got the lead for a couple car lengths until Calvin Kesselberg came from outside the top 5 and made a late race run in the last few laps to pull alongside of Johnny. But Johnny would hold on by just a car length to get the feature win. Again, great race, and that is his first Kingpin Clash win. So congratulations to big time Johnny Carter. And then the Wissota Modifieds finished it out. TPO started on the pole, but he did not run away with it as Joey Thomas had to maneuver through the traffic a little bit, and he was running him down, but just ran out of laps, pulled alongside him, coming out of 4. But TPO hangs on for the feature win in front of Joseph Thomas and Bryce Sword, who also made the trip up from central Minnesota. And that was your action on Thursday night over at the Norman County Raceway. On to Friday, where John got to go down to Brown County Speedway.
Yeah, so we made the decision to go down to Brown County kind of Thursday night a little bit as long as weather was good, and then we got there a little bit late. I left Bismarck around 4:30, got down there a little bit before 7:30, but only missed basically a couple heat races, which was kind of nice. They had the Tri-State Late Model Series, and those grandstands were packed. So they had a really nice crowd within attendance and they had 38 late models. They were the showcase of the night. But they also started off with their street stocks, and they had 21 streets to start the night. So a really good field of street stocks, and that was a good race. Jody Michelson was kind of in control of that race for a while, during the 15 lap affair, and got behind a lap car. And don't know if Joey kind of played it easy or didn't play it easy, but he kind of bobbled in 3 and 4 in the last turn, and it was a 3 wide finish with Jaden Bowe getting around him coming out of turn 4 and picking up the win, with Jody finishing in second and Adam Daney having a great run the whole race up in second, finishing in third. He was in the middle of that 3 wide sandwich at the line. So, but congratulations to Jaden Bowe, who started the night with a win. In the Midwest Modifieds, they had 28 cars. They had to do a consi. And that race was fun to watch because they were kind of all over the track. The track was really heavy. They've had a lot of rain down there, so the track was really heavy on Friday night. And some of our heavy shoes or heavy hitters that we kind of see in the Midwest Modified division had to actually go through a consi to make the A main or start deep in the field. An example of that was Brennan Waite, who started 21st after winning the consi. Brennan worked his way up to second. He was actually going for the lead at one point when his air cleaner flew out of the air filter flew out of the engine compartment right on top of right on top of the engine, and luckily a caution came out like 3-4 laps later. He was running third. He immediately pulled into the pits to make sure he could kind of save the car and save the engine. But that kind of opened the door for Jake Reddick. Jake's had a very nice start to his season. Jake got the lead from Dawson Zabel. Zabel's on the high side. Jake was on the bottom. Jake got around the hot shoes out of Jamestown of Kyle Anderson and Jared Klein, got to the lead and held off Kyle Anderson for the win. So Kyle got second. Unfortunately, a lot of DNFs in that race. I think a lot of people were starting to overheat as that race did take a little bit of time. And a lot of drivers were pulling off, I think maybe just to save their cars from pretty much from some of that, because the track wasn't super rough by any means. But with it being so heavy, I think it was definitely overheating. That was coming a problem within that feature. The Legends were the third race of the night, and they had 14 cars in attendance. And it was basically a battle up front between TJ Pfeiffer, who led a lot of that feature, until Austin Weiss got around him on the high side. Austin led a lot of that feature, where the driver that started in ninth, which was Preston Martin, which Preston went off of turn number 1 and 2 during his heat race and basically got a bath. He went right through the water puddle that was off the turn and just went flying through it. So car got cleaned at least. And Preston had worked his way into the battle with Austin. Preston got a run on Austin coming out of turn number 4 on the bottom, got ahead of him by 5/1000ths of a second at the line. And that lap, a caution came out because Austin got back around him in turns 1 and 2. And caution came out. Preston got the lead and was unchallenged after that for the win, and Austin got second. So congratulations to Preston Martin on the win down there in his first appearance this year at Brown County. And then the late models were up next, and it was kind of I always kind of enjoy the Tri-State late model series because it's kind of the battle between the Wausoda drivers from South Dakota and a little bit into Minnesota, right? But also the kind of like the IMCA drivers that are also running a little bit Wausoda package from down in like the Iowa area, a lot of drivers from the Illinois area that come over, as well as even like Wisconsin a little bit. Some of those drivers come over. So yeah, it was definitely a battle up front between the hot shoes of Cody Thompson, who we know very well from the IMCA modified ranks over the years, and the 2S of Josh Skorcheski. So Cody led a lot of that feature until on a restart, Josh got around him. Josh was on the point after that, but the driver that was making moves was the Huron, South Dakota driver, Cole Searing. Cole made the pass on Josh with only about 5 laps remaining to pick up the win, and held off Josh through lap traffic. Wausoda guys were very well represented because Mike Stearns finished in third and Cody Thompson was in fourth. So pretty nice run out there for the Wausoda boys against the Tri-State Late Model Series. So congratulations to Cole Searing, who picked up a win over on Friday night at Brown County after they got stormed out on Thursday down in Huron.
Yeah. Seeing the pictures of Huron, I'm like, oof, yikes. Yeah. They had a great late model car count all weekend down in South Dakota, so that was really good to see.
So then, Mason, we drove back home after that.
Yeah, you got home late.
Yes. A little after 3.
Yeah, John put on the miles on Friday while I went 15 minutes down the road to a racetrack. That's different than normal.
That doesn't usually happen.
Nope, I went back to the It Forward Speedway for their second night of the year. I still didn't see Fix It Felix Jr.
Oh,
You're just missing out, Mason.
but did they have
Apparently,
Wreck-It Ralph?
no, and Wreck-It Ralph, I mean, he would have been no, he wouldn't have been busy. There was just single spins throughout the night. No major carnage.
Well,
I heard there was carnage in the pits.
Ralph was there. There would have been some carnage.
There was carnage in the pits.
Oh, yeah,
Yeah,
Embarrassing.
that driver's not going to go back there for a while.
hey, he had a clean race. It was just in the pits. Poor Scotty. Anyways,
For John's confused look, Scotty Gartner.
I never heard of this.
Scotty had a very clean feature and had high things to say about the track and the facilities for the night. And then, as he was in the pits after his race,
before
his race, one of the hobby stocks backed into their car.
Oh, there's streetcar?
No,
no, the
It's
car on the
modified.
trailer.
Oh, the mod. He actually they back to the mod. Interesting.
so you got those people back there. Go, just go, bang!
Okay,
Okay,
that's funny. I didn't ever hear about any of this, and I talked to Scott a little bit on Saturday.
He probably had fixed up the car by then because I came down afterwards and I'm like, I don't remember anyone running into. He's like, oh no, that didn't happen on the track. I'm like, oh gosh. Yes.
So Scott was fix it, Felix.
Yeah. And one of the early, I guess, people that left was Wreck-It Ralph because they did some wrecking on the way out of the track. But otherwise, it was a pretty good night. Another smooth racetrack. This time it was on the drier side, so it was more dry, slick. And we had a really great crowd over in West Fargo. I don't know exactly what led to the big crowd, but there was a lot of people in the stands, which is really good to see. So they had the regular classes once again, all their IMCA classes plus the NX Legends and the Sport Mod started off once again. And similar to Thursday over in Ada, it was Rich Pavlicek working his way to the front because he, again, did not have a good week out in West Fargo either on the first night, but he made his move to the front and he cruised on to a pretty easy feature win. So Rich Pavlicek going 2 for 2 on the weekend. In your NX Legends, once again, the Ty Wilkie and Ryan Broseth show. They started side by side in row 5 and they got to the front pretty quick. And this time, Ryan got to lead first, but then Ty made the pass on him and stuck to the lead from there on out. So Ty Wilkie gets the feature win, and that's back-to-back wins at the It Forward Speedway for Ty. Then it was your IMCA Hobby Stocks. It was stone cold Brad Orvidal in the 3 Dale Earnhardt Tribute Scheme getting the feature win. And if you've ever seen a Victory Lane celebration with Brad Orvidal, there's a reason why he's called Stone Cold, because he does the Stone Cold Steve Austin celebration in Victory Lane. So that was cool to see, and congratulations to Brad Orvidal on the win there. Then it was the IMCA Race Saver Sprint Cars, where Evan Hendrickson in the 6-7 IMCA Race Saver Sprint Car. Corey Lynn did a really good job of hyping up the kids on that one, and he got the feature win. He pulled a Kyle Larson. He basically won by 3/4 of a lap in the caution-free race. So, and that was his first win out at West Fargo in the Race Saver Sprint, so congratulations to Evan on that. Stock Cars, a guy that got redemption by actually completing some laps in the feature was Andrew Jokum, as he did not have his fuel cap on last week. That's why he did not start. So he got to start up front, and he got the feature win in front of big-time Johnny Carter. So big congrats out to Andrew Jokum in the IMCA Stock Cars. And then in the IMCA Modifies, the Fargo Flash Jesse Sklicki started on the pole, got passed early by Dave Shipley, but then passed him later on in the feature. And so he would go on to get the feature win. And so that capped off the night in West Fargo on Friday. So pretty good night of racing over there once again. So now on to Saturday, where we had all sorts of adventures taking place. One notably over at the Dakota Speedway, where we had just some random series coming through town to make a stop. And Becca, what all happened in Mandan on Saturday?
It was a fun afternoon and evening at Dakota Speedway. We had the High Limits Series, so stroll into town. Afternoon started with live music and driver appearances, and they had the concessions open so the fans could wander, go into the pits if they bought pit passes, but enjoy the music, eat, drink, and meet some of the drivers. And this is the first time Dakota Speedway has hosted a national series since 2009, so 17 years ago. And back in 2009, there weren't a lot of drivers with like merchandise trailers back then. So Dakota Speedway is actually really set up really nicely to have the merchandise trailers underneath the grandstands. And so it was really cool to see all sorts of fans there early, enjoying the music, but also just meeting the drivers and shopping for apparel. And yeah, it was really cool just to see all sorts of people there. We all did some shopping. Got to meet some of the drivers, wandered the pits. It was just a really fun afternoon. It was a really windy day, and the weather forecast didn't look that great for Sunday, and this is coming right off the heels of Fergus Falls canceling the night before due to a heavy rain shower. And although fans thought it was just a little itty bitty shower and the sun was beautiful and the weather was beautiful the rest of the evening, that wasn't the case. Talked to several drivers in the pits on Saturday, and the pits were flooded. I heard this from more than one driver. The pits were like up to the middle of the sprint car tires. That's how much rain fell that quickly in the pit area in Fergus Falls. So with all of that, the series, the track worked really hard to make sure that we were going to race that Saturday. So they actually pushed back the start time about an hour or so with the hopes that the wind would die down. The wind sort of died down. If it did, it was like 5 miles an hour, 10 miles an hour max. It really didn't die down. It was still pretty windy even after the races. Why are you looking at me weird, John?
Oh, I thought you meant that the wind went to 5 to 10 miles per hour, but no,
No,
you
it
said it
dropped
only
down
died
to
down
five,
five to ten.
maybe 10
I
miles.
almost threw a caution on you. I was like, "There's no way the wind was
No,
only
no,
five
no.
miles per hour."
It was still super windy after the races too. So, no, if the wind died a little bit, it was maybe 5, 10 miles an hour. What, Jessup?
I don't care what anyone says. The wind was what it normally was at the top of the grandstands. So you all get a caution flag.
No,
I
that's a
don't.
fast caution. So you put
In
your
other words, Jessup, you felt at home.
I did.
Yeah.
Everyone's like, it is so windy. I can't believe we're racing. And I'm like, this is like a normal weekly racing show. This isn't anything. Don't act like it's more special than ever. This is the same wind.
whatever. Well, it was still pretty
Then you
windy.
get down by the track, it's like, oh, this ain't so bad. Get back to the
Welcome to
top, you're
North
like, oh
Dakota,
my gosh, I might fall
where
off.
it's windy all the time.
Hmm.
Well, they pushed the whole program back about an hour with hopes that the wind would die down. It really didn't, but we pushed forward anyways, just because Sunday didn't look much better, and they did. I'm sure the series did not want to postpone and have to cancel the next day anyways, because the fans were already on. The keyboard warriors were already busy, just still complaining about the night before. So we pushed through, and it was a fun night of racing. It was the stands were packed, the fans were into it. It was really cool to have the Flow Racing crew there, the High Limit announcing crew there. They did a really nice job keeping the fans engaged all night long. But yeah, just a real quick recap of the night. The night started with hot laps. Aaron Reitzel was the fastest in hot laps, then went straight into qualifying. Aaron Reitzel was the fastest in qualifying. So then we went into our heat races for the night. We had 24 cars on deck, so we had 3 heat races. Heat race winner number 1 was what, Jessup?
You're forgetting more valuable information.
What,
When
Jessup?
was the last time we raced there for like a national series?
I mentioned that they raced 17 years ago in
Yeah. And what
2009.
happened on Saturday?
New
A
track record.
new track record that had been sitting there for 17 years.
Yes, Jessup.
This is the valuable information, folks, that when Becca starts talking about other tracks, I'm keeping it on our track. It
Thank you,
and
Jessup,
it
for
wasn't like,
recommending.
oh, we only beat it by like 0.05 seconds. It was, yeah, we stomped it by a second and a half.
No one knows what it is. Nobody kept that information, not even myself.
Well, now I'm saying we beat it by 7 seconds.
Yeah.
Thank you, Jessica, for reminding me that Aaron Reitzel broke a track record on Saturday night during qualifying. Set it with a new track record of, let's make this official here, 13.532. No one knows what the old track record was. The Flow Racing guys did try to do their best to look it up, but I don't have it jotted down. They searched the internet the best that they could, but we're gonna assume that that's official, and I think it is too. Moving into our heat races, we had 24 cars there on Saturday night, so we had 3 heat races. So heat race 1 went to Danny Sams, the third. Heat race 2 went to Brent Marks, and heat race 3 went to Tanner Holmes. Aaron Reitzel won the dash and led the field to the green flag in the A main. A main was phenomenal to watch. I will admit that I got caught up watching the slicing and dicing in the back of the pack in the middle of the field, because there was some wild like things that made me go like scream a little because I was like, ah, they're just that exciting and thrilling, and there's just a lot of racing throughout the field. But I was caught up watching the racing in the middle of the field, and I totally missed the pass for the lead when Brent Marks chased down Aaron Reitzel. He passed Aaron with, I'd say, about 13 laps to go. And Aaron stayed with Brent Marks and retook the lead with about 5 laps to go. And then it looked like Aaron Reitzel was going to take the checkered flag when there was a caution as they were coming into corners 3 and 4, which set up for a green-white checkered finish, and Aaron Reitzel would hold off the field and win the Highland race at Dakota Speedway, making the series debut in North Dakota. But the whole ride home, Jessup was just telling me over and over and over again. I think he probably uttered this phrase like 100 times. Oh my God, that race was so good. And it really was so good. There was passing for the lead. There was passing all throughout the field. It was really just a really exciting racing. Hats off to the track prep crew. They really had their hands stacked against them. Just because it was so incredibly windy. It was really warm that day too. Thank God it was windy because it would have been really hot, which I like heat. Wouldn't have minded it, but most people would have. So the wind actually made it feel like it wasn't all that hot, but it's not great for track prep. And so they watered the bejesus out of that track and did a little bit different track prep for sprint car racing. And it worked because it was really good just racing throughout the entire field, and it had fans on the edge of their seats, and the crowd stuck around for victory lane afterwards, which never happens at Dakota Speedway. And people cheered, and it was just a fabulous night of racing. And hopefully High Limits was impressed. Hopefully they will want to come back. And
Okay.
I will say during the
I didn't
race,
want to talk about a sprint car race.
well, Jessup was looking like every direction while the race was going on. I was about to point out, I'm like, hey, there's a race for the lead taking place. And he was looking at the other side of the track at that point. I'm like, hey, look to the front, look to the front.
What did I do before Mason pointed? I saw the pass for the lead.
I guarantee Jessup and I were watching the same battle on the track because it was.
Were you watching the one for about 8th or 9th where it was 5 cars wide?
Yes.
And then about 2 seconds behind it was the leader, or 3
Yep.
seconds behind it was...
That's what I was watching the whole time. I totally missed the pass for the lead, and then by the time I finally paid attention to what was going on, Reitzel had already retaken the lead. So it was really
good. I had fun. I would
Jessup
explain
looked
more.
like a kid in a candy store all night.
You know why? I got to see some racing that piques my interest.
I have to say, I really enjoyed the different. I know the track put in a lot of special track prep for this race, but I really enjoyed how the track ended up to be. Um, it wasn't the typical dry, slick, smooth racetrack that we come to know Dakota Speedway for. It was tacky.
I will
It,
say, I
there were multiple groups to race in. but it was just a different racetrack, and it provided really exciting racing, and I loved it. I don't know what the future of the track prep holds at Dakota Speedway, but I did have to giggle. The lead track reporter, Tony Laporta, mentioned something along the lines during the dash when they spin the wheel. He said something along the lines like, "Oh man, this track, it looks really like hard and it looks like concrete." And but then he goes to quickly mention that he chatted with one of the drivers in the pits, and the driver in the pits was like, "No, no, it's got moisture in it, and it's got some grease up at the top." And I'm just like, please don't say that the track looks and feels as hard as concrete. Like,
Why?
but
Every other driver
it
in the
was really
state has
wet
said
even
that.
after the races. Tanner Holmes went out onto the track, and again, Tanner Holmes has phenomenal social media, but he went out onto the track after the races, and he goes, "This track still has a lot of moisture in it, and it's like 11 o'clock and windy, super, super, super duper windy." So the track prep, the guys did a really nice job just keeping moisture in the track all day long, despite the odds that were stacked against them.
I would agree with that. That cushion from like I didn't walk the track obviously afterwards, but that
Three and
cushion was
four.
it was insane.
And there was a little character in the track. It was not a normal night at Dakota Speedway.
And I loved it.
And I
So
know
good.
I know we like having dry, slick, and smooth racing surfaces for the drivers so they don't damage their cars, but it was such a refreshing sight to see fast or faster racing where they don't automatically jump into a line after the 10th lap.
Yeah, there was position swapping every single lap in that sprint car race. That was fun to see. I hope they get come back or we get more races with sprint cars and late models too.
And like to give an idea of what good racing isn't always about just the leaders. And an example that I saw during the feature that highlighted that is at one point, people on the right of me, a few rows down, were pointing over at corners 3 and 4. And then people left of me were pointing into corners 1 and 2. So there was racing literally all over the track, not just for one position. So that was a pleasant surprise. And I'm probably going to catch flack for this, but it was, I wouldn't call it an invitational race, but it was a racing special that didn't have every single class put into it in the middle of the summer. And that is something that I've always preached. If you want to make something special, put emphasis on the area where you want it to be special. Now, I would say I think it probably wouldn't have hurt to have a second class, but overall, the night was very fun.
I had a fun time, and definitely, I would definitely recommend seeing the high limits in action if they come to a racetrack near you. They're a fun group. So overall, it was a great time at Dakota Speedway with the high limits. And while that was taking place, I was trying to pull off the double, but with the delayed start, that was not the case. As the Don Gupke Racers Memorial was taking place over in Jamestown. John, what happened over in Jamestown?
Yeah, so you guys were at the high limits, and I had split, and I was over in Jamestown on our Saturday night program for the Dungog Racers Memorial. We had 111 cars total in the pits that night. Becca, like you had mentioned with the wind, the uh the track over in Jamestown to start tonight, very, very dry. It was a super, super dry track. And honestly, I was a little concerned to start, but the night turned out to be really good overall from racing product for the features as well as even racing for the mod heats. And as the night kept going, they kept up with it and it turned into a multi-groove. It was a dry slick track. It was multi-groove though, that was very much racy and drivers were all over it. The Bombers started basically the feature action after intermission. Before that, they had done the junior slingshots. Couple things here. Junior slingshots, they had six of them on hand. Jackson Carroll picked up his first win of 2026. Looked really good in his 7C car. But the shout out to the night has to go to Jared Genskow because he rolled after getting into the wall on the front straightaway. Jared's pretty young, and he hit that wall a ton and rolled and destroyed the top of the car in the heat race. And they put the car back together, and he came back out and had no fear and got back up to third in that feature event and looked like he was challenging for second on that one. And great for him because Mason knows Jared's just a little guy, so it was good for him to get back at the car and to get back behind the pedal and back after it. So the crowd went pretty crazy when they saw him back out there for the feature. In the bomber division, though, they had 24 cars and they raced for an increased purse, courtesy of innovative siding, remodeling, and windows. Travis Ettinger put some extra money in there. Chuck Himmerkamp put some extra money in there. And they were racing in memory of Larry Christensen, Leanne Christensen's husband, who had passed unexpectedly here just in the basically beginning of 2026. And it was kind of fitting that they had 24 cars with Leanne and Larry's number with the 24. So I thought that was pretty cool. But a pretty clean race overall. They had one caution in the Bomber A main event, and it was Kate Getzkow who went back to back with feature wins in that four machine. Has had a very nice start to his season. Brent Wilkinson had a great run up there in the 77 machine. Him and Caber going back and forth for quite a bit of it until some of the veteran drivers of Travis Ettinger and Joe Jacobson had poked their nose after a restart. And at one point they were three wide for the lead as they came out of turn number two. But Cade held him off and picked up his second win, and Travis was runner up in the 8 machine. In your Midwest Modifieds, we had 22 cars in attendance. Kyle Anderson started up front, and Kyle kind of controlled that race a lot of it, but the battle for second through about 10th was really good. You guys were kind of talking about it from the high limit side of it, right? To where you were kind of watching battles throughout the field. I was too. I was kind of scanning it because there was a lot of three wide racing throughout the field in your Midwest Modifieds, and there was kind of always a constant change for the who was going to be the challenger for second through about fourth. And it was kind of interesting at the end because at the end of it, you got to see drivers such as Matt Duscher, who was back in a Midwest Modified this year, running into second, but he had to hold off Phil Chrislib in the 3B machine, and then also had to hold off Jarrett Klein, who is racing full time again this year, which is nice to see Jarrett back at the track. As Jarrett was trying to change his line to go high or go low or even go in the middle to try to get around the two that were running in second and third. But it was Matt Duscher who picked up second. Jaron Wimstead had problems in his heat race and started 19th and worked his way to fifth. So he got around Brendan Waite for the top five after kind of with only a couple laps left as he was running the bottom part of the speedway right next to the wall. So congratulations to Kyle, back-to-back Umke wins. Then in your Legends race, I might say the Legends race might have been the race of the night. And the reason why I'm going to say that is because Dakota Legends page, they tape the race too on there. But from basically I'm going to say probably lap 9 of that feature until basically 2 laps to go. They were side by side for the lead, never touched. And third through fifth was 3 wide the whole time. And they were just kind of constantly changing positions. So it was kind of a battle between Bryce Barnhart and Austin Weist up front. Bryce was on the bottom and Austin was a groove up from him on the track. And they were kind of swapping the lead back and forth each and every lap after a restart. And it was a very entertaining battle until lap traffic kind of came into play. Austin actually used the last lap traffic kind of as a pick and got around Bryce with about 3 to go and kind of pulled away for the win. However, the driver on the move was Ryan Erdahl, who started 20th and at one point had marched his way to second. Challenge for the lead got a little bit too high through 3 and 4 because he was running the higher line of the speedway and ended up falling back to finish in fourth. But really good run for him to get back up there in the front because you had drivers like Colton Miller up there and Bryce Barnhart finished second on the night in the 94 machine. And that's basically his first back time up at the podium in Jamestown, I think, since he won the Don Gumke Racers Memorial 2 years ago as part of the Legendary Tour. it's nice to see Bryce back up there too. But Austin picked up his second win in Jamestown, first win of the year in 2026. He's had a pretty nice start to the year. His slowest finish right now is sixth in a feature event out of the races he's run. And then we went to the street stocks. Cole Gresseth battled really hard for the lead with the likes of drivers such as Bob Annis Jr. Kelly Hoggle looked really good. Kelly Hoggle was up front for quite a bit of that race, running right up there on the high side of the speedway, and Cole was running his low line that he typically likes to do in Jamestown. And Cole ended up picking up the win. Bob Annis Jr. battled really hard to get back up to second. He finished second. However, in post-race tech, he got DQ'd as the wheelbase was a little bit too short. And they measured it multiple times, and then they measured it at the end of the night again, and turns out that it looks like he had a bent rear end because something in the right rear was not right. Like his right rear tire was towed. So something looked like it was bent there on that 65 machine. But Jody Michelson ended up picking up the runner-up spot for back-to-back runner-up finishes to start basically his weekend. In the modifieds, they were your main event. We had 24 modified drivers check in, $2,222 to win. And some of the who's who of modified racing from kind of the West over there too, and even some of the East guys. So Travis Hagen, the dark horse, came over on Saturday night with Kyler Jeffrey, and Travis looked really good. But you also had defending champion over there of Quentin Kinsley, and then you have the hot shoes of Johnny C, John Nord, Jacoby Trout, Scott Gartner, a lot of the drivers that have known Jamestown very well over the years. And it was a very fun battle up front to where it was Quentin Kinsley who started on the pole with Marcus Tomlinson. Marcus has had a very nice start to his season. Quentin got to the lead, and John Nord threw a slider on him with only a couple laps in, and ended up in the lead for probably the first about 10 laps of that feature event. Quentin was running the second for quite a bit, and Travis Hagen was kind of using the bottom side of the speedway to get himself back up into the mix. He passed Quentin with only basically, I would say, 8 laps into the event. Kind of started setting his sights a little bit on Nord because Nord was running the high side. And then Nord changed his line to the middle. And on a restart, they kind of went after it to where Travis got the run out of turn 2 on the bottom, passed Nord the next lap around. Caution came out, and then I started looking through the field a little bit deeper, and I was kind of watching drivers such as Scotty Gardner and Andy Capp and Lindsey Hansen, who started pretty deep in the field. Lindsey's first night out in the car this year. And Scott had problems in his heat and pulled in, started 23rd in the feature, and by the time the halfway point hit, he was up to about 8th or 9th on the field. And Scott was using the high side of the speedway, and then he was also using the bottom, depending on where he got put for any type of the restarts. But they had a restart with about 6 to go. Quentin got back up into second. He challenged Travis briefly, but Travis held on to pick up the win. His first Gumpke Memorial. That was kind of cool to see. And then Quentin was second. Johnny C held off Marcus Tomlinson for third. Tomlinson had a great run up there in the top 4. In fifth spot was Nord. Nord got past and fell back to fifth. He had a bad restart and kind of fell back a couple spots. And then it was Scotty and Jacoby Trout that were battling really hard with Nord for the top 5, and Scotty got 6th. And Jacoby got 7th. So really good run to Jacoby. And also shout out to Corey Wagner. Corey caused a caution early in that feature event. And had to go in, change the tire, came back out, and worked his way back up to 9th to finish on the field out of the 24 cars that were there that night. So good run for Corey as well. But no, congratulations to Travis, who capped off the night in victory lane in a very entertaining mod feature event for the Gumpke.
Nice. And I missed getting to Jamestown by about 20 minutes.
It's like that year that Kyle Larson missed getting to the car before the rain came.
Yep, couldn't quite pull off the double. That's okay. There'll be opportunities in the future, I'm sure. Alrighty. Nice update from Jamestown. One last race on the weekend was down at the Casino Speedway on Sunday as we say sayonara to Becca so she can get some rest. Bye, Becca. The Challenge Series was doing a swing as they had a doubleheader scheduled in Fiesta, which Friday rained out, Saturday, and then Casino on Sunday. And they had a nice 27-car field of late models on Sunday. So very stout field of cars. And also they had Street Stocks, Midwest Mods, and the Gen X late models also in attendance with the Midwest mods starting off the action. And a guy who's been over there quite a bit this year from Aberdeen, Taylor Schmidt in the 15 machine. He got to the lead early, but had to hold off several challenges from Tommy Nichols and Todd Stark. And Tommy threw a lot of slide jobs. Taylor crossed him over each time, and he got the feature win. So big congrats out to Taylor Schmidt for holding off the crowd in the Midwest Modifieds. In the street stocks, it was Jason Marco and Colton Schuler going at it to start the night. Unfortunately for Jason Marco, he lost brakes heading off into the turn one and spun out, and unfortunately that would end his night with the brake trouble. But Colton Schuler inherited the lead, and then he had the tall task of holding off the hot shoe over there, Maria Brooksick, which is no easy task, but he weathered every challenge and he got the feature win. So that's his first win at the Casino Speedway. So big congrats out to the 16A of Colton Schuler. Then the late models got onto the track, and on the pole was a 37 car. Now, people probably think it was Scott Ward, but Scott has had a shoulder issue, so he hasn't been behind the wheel of the car. So Cody Overton came up to race that car this weekend with the Tri-State late models and also on Sunday. And another fact that people probably forget is that Scott Ward has won the last two Challenge Series events at Casino Speedway. So that car knows its way around the track, and Cody started out front and led every single lap. And he was a wizard at moving through lap traffic because they had like a 25 to 30 lap run of green flag racing, and every time he got to a lap car, he didn't waste any time. He got around him. Chad Becker was hot in his shoes, along with a fierce battle between Mike Stearns, Thomas Wisegram, TPO, and it didn't matter. Even with the late green white checker, Cody Overton pulled away, and he got the feature win with Chad Becker finishing in second and Mike Stearns in the top three. And then in your Gen X late models that finished out the evening, it was the 811 of Bodie Croninger gripping the high side around Kirk Kranz halfway through the race to get the feature win. Trevor Walsh finished in third, followed by his dad, Tony Croninger, or Bodie's dad, Tony Croninger, and then Alex Schockert in the top five. And a very quick evening down at the Casino Speedway as we were dodging sprinkles throughout the entire evening. But didn't really delay any of the racing. It was just like we didn't know what the weather was going to do. It was popping up all around us. And so glad we got the program and the race in. So that's your track back report. Very hefty again this week as we traveled all over. So now, what is upcoming next? Starting in the state of North Dakota with Mr. Dakota Dirt.
Racing.
Well, that is always good. That is always good.
Well, let's take a look at it. After a busy week, it looks like we kind of, I can't really say we were slowing down, but it's not as aggressive throughout the whole week. But looking at Friday, Dakota Speedway's racing and weekly series, plus the Mary Vetter Challenge Series Hobby Stock Special will be kicking off there as well. IMCA Mods, Stock Cars, the Hobby Stocks, NX Legends, and Slingshots. At the It Forward Speedway, it's a weekly show with all their normal classes, the IMCA Mods, Stock Cars, the 305 Race Saver Sprint Cars, the Hobby Stocks, Sport Mods, and NX Legends. Looking at our other two locations, River City Speedway will be having one portion of the Wayne Anderson Cup for the 410 sprints. They will also have Wissota late models, Wissota streets, Midwest mods, and a special guest of the Wissota modifieds there as well. And closing out Friday is the McLean County Speedway County Fair races. This night will be the Alan Fetzer Memorial. Can one of you pull up the flyer for the race? It should be a little over 2,000 to win for the IMCA mods. IMCA stock cars will be racing as well, along with sport mods, hobby stocks, and the Western Renegade Wingless Sprint Series.
Yeah, so Jessup, since Allen's number was 67, it's 2,067 to win, 1,567 for second, and 1,067 for third. It's 267 to start.
Nice. That's a
There's also
really good.
it's also $67 for fast lap. And then on sorry, I know you've already said Friday, but Saturday is the Niffen Memorial then for the stock cars.
Yep. So let's run that down a little bit. Tony Niffen Memorial for the stock cars. Looks like $1,535 to win. That's a really good paying per all
Yeah,
the way
the purse
through.
is good.
Yeah, real good. Saturday's racing continued on. Jamestown Speedway will be racing. They got the Mary Vetter Challenge Series, night number 2 of that, with IMCA mods, Wissota Streets, Wissota Mid Mod, NX Legends, the Bombers, and Slingshots as well. The Devil's Lake Speedway will be racing and will be in action with the NLRA Golden Hammer Classic. I haven't seen a whole lot of promotion yet for this, but I'm sure it will be hammered out here over the next couple days. However, I've been off of social media a fair amount, so to be fair, that
I'm
might be why I haven't seen anything yet.
I'm gonna bring it up right now because I did see a post
There's a
about it.
flyer on it, I think, right, Mason?
As
Yes.
I would assume, as per previous years, it should be 5,000 win.
Yes, it is.
Yes, it is.
40
Yep,
lapper.
40 laps. I wonder if that will
there it
be
is.
that'll be a good show. I think that'll be fun for all of those late model fans out there. Special treat for them as the Wissota Midwest mods will be joining them along with the street stocks and pure stocks. And then Thunder Mountain Speedway will be in racing action as well, as it is kids' night there for the IMCA Sport Mods, Hobby Stocks, Sport Compacts, Slingshots, and their Trophy Enduro class. So Saturday, another busy night with 4 tracks racing. And let's take a look. Sunday, Cheyenne Speedway, driver meet and greet. I know where Mason will be.
It is also the Never Alone mini stock special that was rescheduled.
Yes, and that's a pretty big deal. I don't understand how that travels all over the place and how the rules all line up, but I will say it's a really cool deal as it highlights the mini stocks and it helps out with awareness for suicide prevention.
Yes,
So,
and they're also not Hornets aren't racing Friday, but I believe they're bringing a group of 6 of those Never Alone
Yep,
cars up to River Cities as well.
oh, that'll
yep.
be cool.
Yep.
Okay. How
Yeah,
about
they've had unfortunate luck with when they're supposed to be traveling to different tracks that the weather and the wind has not made it possible. So hopefully this weekend they're able to get on the road and kind of, spread the awareness as they've been planning to do all summer.
and closing out Sunday is going to be the Nodak Speedway. Mason, help me with this name now. The Randy Filesvold
Randy
Memorial?
Phillisvold. Phillisvold.
Philesvold.
Yep.
It is a B&B Stock Car Invitational Qualifier, which is any race over $1,000 for the stock cars. That is a race for qualifying invitational race for Boone and one of the special races down there. That actually make probably both the races over at the McLean County Speedway as qualifiers as well for, I believe, the All-Star Fast Shafts for the mods and the same for the stock cars the following night. Anywho, they will have the stock cars racing for $1,414 to win, and other classes in action for the night will be the IMCA mods, IMC Sport mods, the hobby stocks, and IMCA Sport compacts. And that, folks, will wrap it up for a very busy weekend, but not dragged out throughout the whole entire type week.
Yes, as the Tougher Than Dirt Tour just finished up where they went 5 straight
Everything.
nights and they got them all in.
Yeah, and I'm not saying like that's a bad thing that it's out. it's strewn across almost a whole week. It's just condensing of 1 week versus 3 days.
Yeah, yeah, they. It's been a lot of racing to start the month of June, and yeah, just one last note on that. Randy Philswood Memorial. Randy was a longtime stock car and hobby stock racer out of Minot, and unfortunately he passed away over the off season. So Stephen Pfeiffer made a tribute car, and I think he had it out on the racetrack this past Sunday at NOAC, shaking it down. So yeah, that should be a very, very well received and popular race up in Minot this weekend. So a lot of racing across the state of North Dakota, and outside the state of North Dakota, it is also busy because it is Masters weekend over at Cedar Lake. So the USMTS will be there for a few days, and they got wiped out weather-wise this last weekend, so they're all itching to get back out on the track. Thursday the 11th, we have Grand Rapids, KRA Speedway. Hopefully KRA can get a race in. They don't have any weather luck right now either. It is throwback night at Norman County, and the Wissota A-Mods are back. And then the Victory Lane Speedway up in Winnipeg is starting their season off. One of the last tracks to start their season off, so hopefully they get a good turnout for their opener. Friday, Brown County is back to their weekly program. We also have Red Cedar Speedway racing on their Heroes Night, and we also have the Gen X Late Models making a special appearance at Montevideo and Fiesta City Speedway. And Princeton also racing with the UMSS series. Saturday the 13th, what do we have? Let's see. UMSS goes to Ogilvie. So they got a little bit of a swing there. Dakota State Fair Speedway running once again. Madison Speedway with the Gen X Late Models as their special. Military Appreciation Night at North Central. And the First Kids Night over at Viking Speedway as they had this last weekend off. Sunday, Buffalo River Speedway's Paint the Track Pink Night. So that's always a popular night over there in Glendon, Minnesota. Granite City Motor Park is back after a week off. Northern Renegades at the Bemidji Speedway, Casino Speedway, and the Redwood Speedway back running once again. So a little bit of racing for everyone this weekend, and depending on what you want to take in. Modified, sprints, late models, you got your pick of the litters. So hopefully you're able to get to somewhere for a race this weekend. We will now display the white flag and give a shout out to our good friend Brody Carlsrud in the B1 IMCA stock car, who got a couple races in on the weekend. We won't discuss his Thursday results, but he rebounded Friday for a nice top 5 finish at the It Forward Speedway, so starting to get some good runs underneath his belt. Be sure to follow his racing page, Brody Carlsrud B1 Racing, on Facebook, and also his podcast, The Real Deal with B1. I know he's itching to get a podcast out here pretty soon, so stay tuned for that. And thank you as well, Brody, for the support on the podcast. And he got new hero cards this past week. And yes, I did get one for all of you, so you will have a Brody Carlsrud hero card here pretty soon.
It doesn't look like the car I had mocked up for him.
No, Jessup's a lot nicer.
No, it is not. Alrighty, wins of the week. John, who are your wins of the week? Or should we go through Becca's first? She did
do Becca's first, since she's not here.
Okay, so Becca submitted 3 wins, her first going to Hallie Turnbull in the slingshots, as she got a couple wins on the weekend. She's really stepped up her game in the slingshot division. Went one in Williston, and then also won at her home track in Estevan, and won the Tougher Than Dirt Championship for the slingshots. So pretty good weekend for Hallie Turnbull. That's awesome. Her second win went to Kyle Anderson, back-to-back wins at the Don Gumpke Racers Memorial in the Midwest Modifieds, and being a hometown guy, I'm sure that's very big to add that to the mantle. He also has one in the street stocks during the Don Gumpke Memorial as well. And then the third win went to the Jokum duo of Hayden in the go-karts. He won on Monday night. I'm guessing, a betting man would probably say he won tonight also, but we'll see. And then Andrew won on Friday, so didn't want to let his son one-up him on the weekend, so... Oh, he did win earlier tonight. So, there we go. The Jokum clan with Becca's third win of the week. And on to you, John, for your wins of the week.
Okay, so my first one of the week, I am going to give it to the 19G of Cole Gressa. I've got to keep him in my sights a little bit, because we were talking about it a little bit in Victory Lane on just this past Saturday night. Cole has entered a total now of 13 races for the season. Cole has 9 wins out of those 13 races. And to my knowledge, out of those 11 of those 13 have been top twos that I know of. So really good start to the season for Cole. I think he was runner-up in the national championship last year. He may be one of those front runners looking at it from the national championship stance right now. The second win of the week is I'm going to give it over to I'm actually going to give it to a track. I'm going to give it to Fiesta City Speedway because they hosted the Wissota Challenge Series on Friday, Saturday. Unfortunately, Friday fell to rain. But Saturday night, I watched a lot of the highlight videos. Boy, did they have some good racing on Saturday night. That track looked to be in great shape, and they had some awesome feature events. Congratulations to Justin Vogel, who picked up probably a great street stock win, probably one of the best races of the weekend, in my personal opinion. And then also Tyler Peterson for winning the late model challenge series in the TPO. So congratulations to those guys from that speedway as well. And then my final win of the week. Gonna go kind of out of the box here just a little bit. I'm gonna give it to I'm gonna go Kate Getzkow. And the reason why on that one too is because he kind of struggled a little bit last season. Got the car redone. Didn't race a ton, but raced here or there just a little bit. And and definitely starts the season with a bang here with back-to-back wins in Jamestown in that four machine. And he is your current points leader right now out there in the four. So great job to him to start the season, and it's going to be exciting to see what happens, and also the Getzkow clan as a whole because Jarrett rolled, picked himself back up, and was back on the track for the future, which wasn't even probably a half hour, 45 minutes later. So, so kind of cool to see that that the youngster was right back up on the saddle again after having a rollover.
Excellent set of wins, John. Jessup, you can go ahead on your wins of the week.
Well, I'm going to start with Ryan Timms picking up another 410 sprint car feature win down at the Knoxville Speedway. And if you look, I might be wrong on this, but I'm pretty close. I think they've only had 4 World of Outlaw races completed this year with the 410 wing sprints. He's won 3 of them and got second at the other one. So he's rolling. Mm-hmm. And hopefully he keeps rolling into Nationals season. So that'd be the month of money for the sprint cars. And then my second win, I'm going to give it to the Tri-State Late Model Tour as their swings. I don't know what's going on, but every time they swing through South Dakota, it seems like they get a ridiculous amount of late model drivers. And I think they had like 36 or 38 on Saturday, and then they had 30 or 32 on Sunday as well. So each night broke the 30 threshold, and this last year they had insane numbers. The year before, I think they had good numbers as well. So tip of the cap for whatever they're doing. It seems to be working, and it'd be kind of fun to see one of those late model races sneak up a little further into North Dakota.
Then it'd be the Quad State Late Model Series.
It's already past 3 states, isn't it? Let's look at their schedule to see.
That's a great question.
Let us look. Okay, Tri-State Late Model. Go to schedule.
I want to say they're in Iowa, South Dakota, and Minnesota.
You might be right. Where's I-90?
I-90 is in South Dakota.
South Dakota, okay.
Oh shoot! Off-road speedway is in Nebraska, so that's a 4th state.
What's up? It'd be a X state series.
Pent State.
We could add another one.
Although they don't have Nebraska in their tri-state logo, so there's that.
Anyways, they had a very good weekend. And then going to my final one, I would say final winner's got to be High Limits coming into North Dakota for the first time and being very well received. And, great crowd, great racing. Can't really ask for much more. Fans seemed really appreciative, and hopefully they come back another year.
I would agree with that. I hope they come back as well.
Yep. So those are my winners.
Alrighty. My 3 wins, I'm kind of going all over the joint. So my first one I'm going to give it out to the Dakota State First Speedway in Huron, kind of building off of Jessup's, because they had a really great crowd on Saturday. The stands were packed. Like, I talked to a couple people in casino yesterday. They're like, yeah, the crowd was really, really good, and they had a great car count in all their classes and some pretty good racing, and especially after getting wiped out Thursday when everyone showed up, and then they had a pop-up storm that basically blew up right over them. So nice that they persevered and had a good racing track on Saturday with a great crowd. My second win, going to the High Limits, I'm going to give it to Gio Selzy because he had an engine woe in hot laps, and they did an engine swap in 11 minutes to get him back out. Didn't get a qualifying time in, but he rebounded throughout the night and ended up with, I believe it was a 7th place finish in the main event. So he was definitely moving up through the field, and would have been nice to see had he not had those engine problems, what he could have done. And my third win, I've got to go to the NASCAR side. I'm going to give it to Denny Hamlin. Tied Kyle Busch for all-time wins in the Cup Series, with a very fitting tribute with the flag and celebration. Definitely big to kind of see that, and being a longtime teammate of Kyle's, I'm sure that meant a lot to that whole group. So that is my third win of the week. Any closing thoughts as we wrap up this week's episode? A lot of stuff we covered.
Get out and pack a track.
Get out and enjoy the racing locally, and I think it should be a fun weekend for the tracks around the area. I mean, good memorial races on the western side, and then you got the Hammer up at Devil's Lake, which if you're a late model fan, that should be a good night to go attend. And then
They had over 40 last year. I think didn't they end up with like 45 last year or something like that? They had a lot of late models up there last year.
Good car count.
Yep, they did. So should be a good couple nights of racing this week. And yeah, Mason, you got anything?
Yeah, I'm looking forward to this weekend. I might travel a little bit one night, but otherwise staying pretty close this weekend before getting back on the tour swing the following week. And the weather is going to be a lot cooler than it has been the last couple weeks. So if we get through the first half of the week and whatever shenanigans happen, should be a pretty ideal night. So you might want to bring a sweatshirt to a couple of these tracks this weekend. I don't mind that at all, to be honest.
Or some beanies. Or you can wear a Track
Packer
Packers
beanie.
podcast beanie.
Good job, John.
Good job. Hey, I was repping at the track. I don't have the beanie on me right now, but I was repping at the track. So you can't say I don't rep the podcast. But that'll do it for episode 9 of season 5 of the Track Packers podcast. Be sure as always to like, share, and comment. We love to know who's all watching and tuning in. Thank you to our sponsors, Paul Bunyan Mini Storage, The Real Deal with Brody B1, and Isaac Hot Sauce Sondrol. Hopefully we get through the rain or whatever happens this weekend, and we will see you out there this weekend packing the track.